Hey guys, welcome back to Real Chalk. I am Sam.
I'm Jamie.
And Connor
That's
is
me.
here.
Yeah, we have a live studio audience. That was who's clapping.
Oh, hey! So this week we're going to talk about stuff.
Yes, we're gonna let's hit the clock there. We're gonna hit our 20-minute job. I'm just gonna talk a little bit about CrossFit, some kind of news that we've seen popping up. And I think the first thing I'm gonna touch on is a little bit of
Boom.
a little bit on mindset and competition. Sports psychology and that type of thing. We were just chatting a minute ago before things kicked off, and just realized that Sam and I both have an interest in sports psychology, and he was saying he took a year course in it before. You're saying?
Yeah, I did a year's it was like a level 8 diploma degree thing.
Yeah,
it was really interesting.
Do you want to clap for that?
Yes,
Congratulations.
I do actually.
Well done.
there you go. Very impressive.
I can't hear the clap, so
It's good. It's
Connor can only hear the clap
Yeah,
in his
yeah.
earphones. And I'm just there like, I think there's
Yeah.
clapping.
He's actually just got a load of animal sounds on his keyboard, and he just keeps hitting the buttons. That's what keeps him interested throughout these 20-minute sessions. But we'll go with it.
Well, now that the applause has died down,
Yeah.
so I did a year's degree in sports psychology. I thought it was really interesting.
Do you find you've brought that into like any of your training, or I don't know, in the open or in competitions, or like anything you kind of took from it?
It's not like Jedi mind powers that you instantly have. Now I can be completely fearless or anything in sports. It's more like understanding why people think certain ways, and like a lot of it was like about teams and team cohesion and how people get along and leadership, and then like a lot of it was also like pre-game, like what people do ahead of time for like routines and stuff. So there was a lot of kind of build success that way. It wasn't just like having this injecting like some sort of crazy mindset where you're impervious to all nerves or anything.
Yeah,
It's like,
of course.
a lot of it was understanding that nerves are normal, and that means it's just your body getting ready to do like the sport or something, you know?
But that's kind of what you see, like whether an athlete is successful or falls at the final hurdle is how they, like, everyone's nervous or scared or whatever it might be, but it's how they handle that, whether they bottle under the pressure or whether they use that to kind of move forward. And even if you're in an open, I find if you're in an open workout or a big competition workout, it can be a bit daunting, especially say that thruster workout when it was like 27 thrusters, 27 burpees, 21, and it just goes on, and you're tired in the first round. You're like, how am I going to make it till the end?
Yeah.
But one of those things like positive self-talk or just focusing on tasks. Like I know you said that the other day, task focus, whether it's complete this set of thrusters, or I know I can do five more, and just tricking yourself to constantly just keep thinking of 5 reps rather than being like, I've got this set, then I've got another set. I'm only in the first 30 seconds and I'm already tired. You know?
I think it's very easy if you just go in completely with an untrained mind to say it's 21:59 to be worrying about the 9s and 15s before the workout even starts. The first thing you have to worry about is rep 1, rep 2, and so on. Don't worry about what's going to happen. Worry about that stuff when you get there, I think.
And your mind, I think, is always going to try to play tricks against you. Like your body doesn't want to go into an absolute war zone and be pushed to its very limit. So I find anyway, before a competition or in the early stages, I'm in my head, I'm like, I might do this later. I might just do the workout later on, might slow down. I don't know if I can go this fast. But if you can turn that off, which can be hard to turn off, but if you manage to get into that state where it's just completely switched off, then you're flying.
Yeah, I think it's about getting into that kind of being very present. I think people talk about flow states and stuff.
Exactly.
And have you ever found yourself in like a flow state mid-workout?
I don't know. I've thought about that loads. Like if I've had a really good performance, I try to think, was that it? You know, because I've heard about it a little bit, especially in basketball, I've heard about it. But I think the final workout in 2017, the thruster double under one. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
When it was 10 rounds of 10 thrusters and 35 double unders. Like that was a hard workout. That should have been really tough. And I got quite a high score in Europe in that one. And that was a one workout where I just felt like for some reason I wasn't tired. I don't know why, but I just was not tired. And I just kept being like, next set of doubles, next set of thrusters. Where I'd be like, will I break? Will I not break? I didn't think of that once.
Yeah.
And this only came to me yesterday when I was thinking, I wanted to see how fit I am at the moment. And I was like, feeling pretty fit. Maybe I'll retry that workout. And then I was like, no, that was like a special moment. That was a good moment that I don't want to do it again. Because even if I am as fit, I might fail it because I was like in the
You
zone.
were in a
there.
special zone. I had it once where at regionals, where snatches and burpees workout, and I just at the time I was just so focused on the movements, doing everything fast. I was came out of the workout going, I can barely remember what happened just there, because there was no thoughts, inner dialogue of me going, this is so awful, this is so painful, this is, oh my god, that guy's doing this.
Yeah.
It was all by coincidence, I think, but probably because you'd kind of train it a bit, it just kind of manifested itself. That was all positive thoughts and all, not like, oh, this is great.
I know.
That's not what positive
No.
thinking is. It's about productive thoughts.
Yeah.
Like it was like the next rep, the next thing. Make sure, like even some small things in my head that were just clicking at the time was, if I roll, you have to roll the bar forward every once in a while for reps. I would just roll it just past the line, which would save me rolling it too far, and it would actually save time. That was all just clicking at the time.
But when you feel you're getting an advantage, that's the good thing about live competition. When you feel you're getting an advantage over other people, that gives you more confidence to be like, okay, my rolling trick is working.
Yeah.
Now all I need to do is get through the reps, and then I get to do my rolling trick again. You know?
So there was a thing in when we were doing that course where it's talk about momentum and how momentum can swing. So like if you almost know about it, you relate it to me really quick. So like if you're winning or you're losing and then you catch the winning moment, you're going to use that, and the momentum switches. That person's going to feel deflated and might give up their effort as much, but you've gained all the confidence of the room, and you're going to use it to move on.
That's
and
cool.
you can kind of notice that in like exactly that in competitions. Someone breaks or drops the thruster bar or something or whatever it is in a competition. You go, okay, I can hold on, and then you've more than likely you win the whole workout at that point. That's where the momentum switched.
Yeah, it is a mind game at a lot of competitions. Like all the athletes are very close to how fit they are. Like you might have a strength, like your strength might be kind of chest to bars, hanging onto the bar or something like that, where you do have an outright strength. But other than that, especially in wall balls, like you could be hanging on thinking, okay, I really need to drop this ball, and suddenly the person beside you drops it, and you've suddenly got 10, 15 reps in you, and that's just the mental power of being like, you weakling, I'm going to keep going now.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, that 100% happens. But then what you can't realize in the moment is, because you're so out of breath, and that's not the optimal time to think.
Yeah.
Is if you drop the ball, you might be giving them a confidence boost.
Yeah.
You would never think that. All you're thinking is internal dialogue of, I'm in so much pain, everything burns. Why did I sign up for this?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, why did I pick this sport?
Yeah.
But it could be worse. Like doing MMA, I think that would be worse.
Yeah, a shin to the forehead would be
Yeah,
a lot worse.
100%. Getting beat up, or just
But again, you don't realize that in the time.
ground and pound. You're lying there just getting beat up bad.
You're hardly going to go like, oh, I hope he drops you're getting beat up on the ground. I hope he drops the wall ball.
Yeah,
Like, I hope he
yeah.
stops punching me now.
100%. But I do often think as well, like the worst part of rugby training, say, is fitness. Like no one wants to do fitness. It's the shittest day, and that's all we do. Like all we do is fitness every day. That's pretty shit as well. You just have to come in and hurt yourself as much as you can in the training session.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that's most sports. Like if someone plays football or hurling, they're like, oh yeah, the days where you do like a practice match or like skills based stuff is the best. And then your coach is like, oh, today we're doing sprints and stuff, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
And then there's you guys, you're like, yeah,
Yeah.
let's go as hard as we can.
That's it.
Yeah,
Is there any
we're weirdos.
coaches or anything that like have shown you any like kind of mind tips, or have you learned it online or anything, or is there anything you kind of take away from that helps your game?
Max, the guy who coaches me now from Train Think Tank, he's really good. Like I was saying, one day I put in my score and it's like, it was a heavy snatch after a bunch of stuff. So it was like assault bike, could have been, I think it was lunges or something, and power cleans or something, and then you had to like hit 2 heavy snatches right away. And in the warm up, they felt really heavy. I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to rest so long before these.
Yeah.
And that's what I said in my notes. I was like, felt like I rested a lot longer. And I said I surprised myself that the weight didn't feel as heavy in the workout. And he comments back being like, don't try not to be surprised by yourself. Try and seek into the unknown parts, and you shouldn't be surprised. You should just be like ready to hit those lifts. Even I can't remember the exact way he said it, but whatever way he said it was
but
like,
it's almost like expecting yourself to be hitting those lifts.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just have the confidence to go for it, instead of having to rest loads before the lifts.
Yeah.
Whatever way he said it, it was just like, okay, this really clicked. That makes a lot of sense, and just stuff like that. But Over the years, a lot of stuff from Ben Bergeron. And he's always kind of
Yeah, he
good for the
is
mindset
really
stuff.
good at the positive self-talk. And one of the things you mentioned before we kicked this off, but the move with purpose, that's actually something that I'd often say a lot, especially in an open workout when you're really trying to save time. So my whole thing is move with purpose, as in don't just get through the movement. If you just go through the paces, you're not moving. Like, you need to focus on completing the movement, then focus on the transition, because that's something in itself, then focus on the next movement. You can't be thinking, I'm just going to do my 20 reps, then I get a rest, then I'll eventually get on the bar. It's like every single part of the workout is a new task. Even the transition, I'm thinking in my head, shit, I'm wasting time, quickly get on the bar. And then I can kind of rest, not rest in aerobically, but rest in my head that, okay, finally I'm here. And the second I get off, I'm like, okay, quick, get to the chalk if you really need it, but then get on with it, you know? So constantly move a purpose, stay present in
I think having
motion.
tasks to tick off distracts you almost from how the workout's feeling. So if I know I'm going to do if I have an exact plan, first of all, when you look back at your exact plan, did you do it? Yes or no? Did you do the plan? Yes or no? That's very simple to reflect on. But in the moment, it's like, okay, I'm breaking 15. I'm going to rest 5 seconds. I'm going to do 15, whatever reps it is. And then I'm going to go straight to here, and I'm going to hold this pace on the rower. And if you have those things in your head, if you didn't have any of those things, you could blow up early, first of all, or you could have, or you on the rower, instead of looking at the screen, trying to hold whatever number, you could be going, oh my God, like looking up, like around, or just distracted, or you're just not in the moment, you're not present, you're just not focused. And then inevitably you're like, this is really hard and this is really sore. I should stop now.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest mistakes you can make in a workout, just kind of saying, oh, I'm just going to go in and see what happens. Like, you need to have a plan so that you can stick to, so you can keep your head busy. Like, that's one of the biggest things. And I found the psychology side of things helped me for when I injured my shoulder, like, because that was a complete, almost like career-ending injury, as in you don't know if you're going to be back hitting those weights. And from one side, it's just because your shoulder's completely dust and you need a load of surgeries. That's not a great part of it. But the other side is mentally, because you have to come back from that, you know. You have to be like, make sure that you're not scared to commit to dropping under the bar, because when we're snatching like 120, 125, they're pretty damn heavy weights, and already people who are trying to get to those weights find that that's a mental barrier. And I know before I got injured, I was just fearless. I was like, I never even thought of getting injured. I was like, if I fail, I fail. Who cares? I'm just going to drop as fast as I can under the bar. So I remember I was only chatting to my brothers about this the other day, that the second I finished the surgery, like, I'd never really watched much weightlifting, but I just immersed myself in weightlifting. I must have watched like 3-4 hours a day of all the previous Olympics. I went and picked my favorite weightlifter. I just got obsessed with it. And my whole kind of thought process of that is, I didn't want to be like resent lifting or have a fear for it and suddenly be like, I'm scared of that bar, I'm never going to hit those weights again. I just started being like, I'm going to watch all of these animals from the Olympics, watch these crazy lifts. And I just watched it so much that it got me really excited to come back lifting. And anytime I was getting like a bit nervous of it when I was coming back to training, I just throw on a big lifter, and that, like, it's just positive. Like, you know, you need to have the positive stuff rather than the negatives, because if you have the negatives, then it's going to bring fear or bad thoughts, and that just results in failure, like, you know.
Oh, you're spot on with the injury. It would be a massive, it could be so easy to go down the rabbit hole of, oh my God, what about my shoulder? Or oh my God, what about X, or whatever it is? Yeah.
And the lift is like a snatch, a clean. It's 1 second. It's like speed and power and aggression. And if you switch off for a second, that's where you fail. Or a lot of the time, I know I always say it to clients as well, if you don't commit 100% to a lift, that's usually where you get injured, where you try to jump backwards because you're not quite sure, but then the bar is going to travel in the wrong direction. While if you just commit to it, hit your straight line position, you're either going to hit it or you're going to fail, but you're going to fail correctly, you know?
Yeah.
While if you kind of bail out because you're a bit scared, that's when it gets a bit dodgy.
Yeah, I would agree. Doing the lifts wrong is definitely bad for you.
On that, you said as well, you listened to the Fraser Rogan podcast.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
I'm so curious. I didn't even know this existed until you said it today. So fill me in. What are the talking points?
Well, firstly, I wanted to touch on one story he said, which I just thought was so sick. When Matt Fraser was in the Olympic Training Centre, I think he was doing his lifting beside an advanced lifter beside him, and the guy was lifting with straps.
Oh, I heard this.
And
that
he
was
said
gross.
that it's horrible.
So
he said he was lifting with straps and he failed clean.
So his hands were basically attached to the bar with straps. Now, not like Velcro or anything, but just like wrapped around, so they're right on to the bar.
Yeah, and his elbows, he failed forward. He wasn't able to drop the bar because of the straps, so his elbows hit the platform and he dislocated both of his wrists. And when he stood up, his arms, literally his wrists were just flopping.
So like the bar pulled his wrists off, essentially. I think they were
Oh my god.
That is
dislocated his hands off his
That's
body.
not very nice to talk about straight after commit to a lift and then saying, boys,
Is that not a terrible idea though?
But
To use
lifting with
straps
straps,
like
well,
that?
I know weightlifters do. I only do poles with straps.
Yeah, I
I've
would
gonna
never
say,
go
yeah.
overhead personally.
Deadlift seems fine. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, of
drop,
course.
but-
Yeah, you
Deadlifts
can
and
drop it
poles
from
and
there.
stuff. Yeah.
Imagine, I'm just,
It
like
takes
a snatch and then
experience
you
to
can't
learn
drop or
how to
something.
fail, I'd say. Like, I don't know how to use them properly. I'd be scared. I'd have to get attached to the bar and just...
Yeah, if you
That
went behind you or
exactly
something,
that would
you'd be
happen.
like,
Exactly. Yeah, especially
Yeah.
snatching with
That's
straps. I
awful.
can't imagine doing it. But a lot of athletes do it. Like, a lot of games athletes anyway.
What advantages does it have? I have no real idea.
you don't need as much grip.
So your forearms are a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
your
you're-
pull
you're-
is so much
So it's all
stronger.
the rest of your body, I guess,
Yeah.
Okay.
using the
Interesting.
work.
It saves the hands as well. Like I will use straps for heavy pulls or something, especially
Sure.
if we've been training for like 2
Your-
hours
your
and your
thumbs
hands
are
are
wrecked
falling
or-
off
yeah.
you. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
It just connects you to the bar, but you need to use them properly. Like it takes me a good minute to just get my hands connected.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna take a 1 second
It
lift
is.
and I've spent another minute. My whole rest period is just trying to tie myself to the
Wrapping
bar.
yourself
So, yeah, no.
But that was insane, and
Yeah.
just the story of him hurting his back. So he broke his back, doing back squats or something. I think he said.
Yeah.
So, and then so he broke one side of his back doing back squats. And the next week he broke the other side of his back, and the coach made him or not made. I don't know. I think it seemed like he kind of
pretty much said he had so much pressure on him that he had to compete in the
it's
competition
he
because
was doing.
there was the pressure of the states basically producing good athletes.
Good weightlifting athletes.
Yeah.
Oh, this was back in the day. Sorry, I thought
Yeah.
this was CrossFit.
No,
this was
back
just
when he was a
weightlifting.
weightlifter.
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Mad.
That would be
Jesus
sore.
Christ.
Broken
Yeah.
back, hit a
Yeah.
few snatches.
He said it kind of healed itself. So when he had to get a surgery to fix it, like it healed itself, but
If it fused, like
in the wrong way.
Yeah.
And then when they had his surgery, they'd re-break his back.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Did they do that?
Yeah.
Well, they'd have to.
wow.
Yeah, if it fused wrong, it's like fingers and stuff. If you break fingers and they heal wrong, if you
Yeah.
go to get them corrected, they have to basically demolish your
And your
fingers
jaw
to
and stuff,
rebuild
don't
them.
they have to
yeah.
break your jaw again.
And
That's-
noses as well. If you want to correct your nose, if it breaks wrong, it's all.
Oh.
If that bone fuses, like it's set, and then you have to just like.
Yeah, that is crazy.
That's terrifying.
And your back, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, he said he had to wear a full back brace for.
It's actually
So one of the
incredible.
funny things, he was like, "Oh yeah, so I broke my back, and so I decided to go lie down for a few days." I was like, "Go lie down for a few days? No shit."
yeah, exactly.
So casually, "Yeah, I decided I'll lie down for a few days.
Yeah.
It's incredible then.
Crazy.
Like speaking of coming back from injuries, like to do what he did then, like post back
Yeah.
surgery is
Oh, yeah.
actually outstanding.
It's
Unbelievable.
insane. The one thing I thought the podcast was good. I thought the first 30 minutes was like okay, and then I got into it more and more.
Fair.
But and I actually found this in person as well when I met him. He didn't like. I don't know. He seems to rely on his coaches and stuff. Like it seems if he asks a question, he seems like he's obviously smart and all, but he sometimes seems like uneducated in the topic, and he just says like, "Oh, my coach helped me through that," or
Yeah.
like I know just as an athlete and a coach for people, I'm always like, "This is what you should do to get better at this. This is what you should do to get better at that." He seems to not really have those answers. It's either keeps it to himself or
Yeah, he
you
kind
know?
of seemed like.
you think he'd
he's
have
like,
loads of tricks. He was asked what type of tricks he does to what makes him the best. And I can pick 6 or 7 things that I think I might do that other people might not do, or the top athletes do, but not everyone does. Well, he didn't seem to have any of those answers. Like, you
he's
know?
kind of like, "Oh, I have a coach for this and I have a
Yeah.
coach for that," and my coach told me to. He was doing one where it's like he was talking about taking in sugars or something after training. He's like, "This expert told me to do it, so I did it."
Yeah, he was
and
like-
it wasn't like I was like he was
Talking about eating the Snickers, like
Yeah,
they were
exactly.
like any key nutrition kind of things, and you'd be hoping to get like some just key piece of information, but he was just saying, "I just eat a Snickers."
Yeah, sounds
it.
like our
Yeah.
biscuits
No, it's
podcast.
true. Yeah,
I was gonna
it is
say,
true about our
if you want,
Nutella stuff.
if you want real nutrition, you listen to this
Yeah, yeah,
podcast.
Yeah,
and it is nice to hear that even he is eating
like and
stuff
subscribe.
that. Yeah.
and leave a damn review. But but he was like, oh yeah, I had to drink this special Gatorade, and and he was like, why? Joe Rogan was like, why? Because he wants to know, and he was like, the coach told me to.
I know.
And I was just like, okay,
I would have liked.
I'd like to know why
a bit
too.
more in-depth stuff, because that's what will convince you. Now, the one thing though, the beta-aniline he was saying he takes in that extra lung, like before I know you take it anyway, and I used to take it, but the other day I just got a scoop and just lashed it in my mouth and drank it down.
You get the full
water.
body tingles.
Yeah, 100%. Start feeling the whole face like shaking. Open wide.
I'm like I was like, why is my back itchy? And I was like, oh, I had beta-alanine. My skin gets all itchy all over my body.
Yeah, and if you don't train,
so you know it's good for you.
Yeah. And if you don't train with it though, then you get the whole eyebrows twitching and everything.
Yeah. You need to work at stuff out of your system.
Yeah, because it does. It buffers the lactate. That's what it's meant to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it buffers it through your blood, so it's not as whatever. Yeah. You're not You might not listen to Matt Frazier for scientific advice, but you definitely won't get it here.
I think we're doing we said he wasn't good at explaining things. We're doing a worse job explaining his point.
At least if he told us it, we could have repeated it.
Yeah, exactly.
Any other topics on that they mentioned?
He touched on heat therapy and cold therapy as well.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever done any of that stuff, like ice baths and saunas?
No. I used to jump in the sea after training, but I'm not doing it at the moment because that sounds miserable.
That's literally my answer. People always ask me like, why don't you do ice baths? And I'm like, we hurt enough in the gym that in my recovery time, I don't know, maybe it does work. I don't really believe it does. And like we were talking earlier, I think you have to have your head behind it as well.
You have to really believe in it to want to do it.
But I'm kind of like, I hurt enough in the gym that I don't want to start jumping in the sea.
During the summer, it's fun to jump in the sea.
Yeah, it's good fun in the summer.
But it's like, no, not right now.
No, definitely not joining the whole, like there's a full 6 a.m. crew down at Sea Point that are there every day. Like,
insane.
30 people.
Yeah, well, they just did Freezeberry, which is you swim every day for February.
And doesn't it go up in minutes every day?
It's a minute, every day. So by the end of it, you're doing half an hour in the water.
Half an hour?
Yeah, so it's like day one, you do 1 minute.
Day one, you do 1 minute in the water. Day 2, 2 minutes.
Which is already like 1 minute in February is already like so long.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
You'd need the Wim Hof ice breathing for that. He's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is cool. He's nuts, but he's cool.
He's nuts. Some interesting techniques there, though. I think a
I've
lot of
only-
athletes
I
have
need to look
really
into
started
that.
to get into that.
Yeah.
I do, like, again, I don't know the science behind it. I definitely am a fan of like a cold shower, or if I have time, like a cold bath.
Cold bath.
Cold bath.
Jesus.
Yeah, because
Hot bath
like
is nice.
an ice bath, like an ice
Have you
bath,
tried
but
the
less
hot one?
intense. No, man, no hot water in my house. I don't know. When I started doing loads of running the first lockdown, like my legs were achy, and it was kind of muscles that I hadn't really used in a while because they're just different, I suppose. And I don't know. I did the kind of cold ice bath and just watched like an episode of Netflix, and genuinely felt like it was a Michael Jordan documentary. It was so
That's a whole
good.
I could do a whole podcast on
I
The
nearly
Last Dance.
I was like
so good.
freezing,
So
but I was
good.
like, I'm not moving because I'm like in this episode.
I think the thinking behind the coldness is you get in all the blood, because obviously your body's like, we're under attack, you're going to die if you're cold. It goes all like internal near your lungs, where like the capillaries get the fresh oxygen and stuff into your body, and then as you get warm again, it brings the blood back to the extremities, and it's all kind of fresh blood. So you're kind of,
Then that fresh
it's almost
blood
like
flow is gonna be
it's almost
better
like
for
voodoo
recovery.
flossing your whole body.
It just cycles the bloods and the oxygen. But yeah, again, it could be total nonsense. I just think sometimes it feels nice after a heavy workout to get
I think if we had the facilities here, or anywhere, like if you just kind of had your sauna and your ice bath, that's a lot easier to just finish your session, get in, get it done, because then it's almost part of your session. But if you're like driving down, you're nice and warm, then you have to get out, jump in the sea.
All you have to do is buy one of those,
outside,
those freezers that you might have found in your granny's gaff that had all the chicken nuggets in it and stuff. People just buy them because you basically just open the top. Like I think that's what Josh Bridges has. It's just a freezer he has outside.
It's a fridge on its side, sort of thing.
Yeah. You just open the top of it, water, ice.
Those freezers they have are cool. They're like the dead body freezers.
Yeah. It's not much. Does your granny not have one of them out the back of the gaff?
With a dead body.
Yeah, with the bodies in it. No. She'd always be like, "Oh, go get the ice cream," and you go out the back, and there's like potato waffles that have been in there for like maybe 40 years.
One of the long ones, like the full. No,
like,
I've never seen one of them in person.
Yeah,
That's
they're
cool.
huge.
Mark has a sauna in his gym, so
Nice.
he's like, and I don't think he'd use it if like I wouldn't personally drive to go use a sauna.
Yeah.
If it was just readily there, I'd probably use it.
Yeah.
I think that's it needs to be kind of convenient to.
Yeah.
I'm not going out of my way.
Yeah.
I'm not driving to go sauna, and then I'm not going to go drive and do the
No,
sea.
exactly.
And then
Yeah.
I'm already exhausted.
Yeah.
If it was on
By the
tap,
time you've done
yeah.
all that, you have to do your next session anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
You just
And
wasted your rest
by the time
time.
you're all done, you haven't eaten or drank or gone to sleep,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is
I think
far more vital.
I think
Yeah.
the idea of it is like the full body, like the idea of like if you have a sore muscle, you do the ice pack
Yeah.
and then the ice pack heat. I think
Yeah.
that's just kind of like the idea of the full body basically recovery.
Well, I think that is the one thing that I did take from Fraser is like for us, like we're saying, oh, we don't have a sauna, so we'd have to drive there. While he's taking all of that stuff out, as in, he said like he called Sammy when he's on the way home from the gym and his food is ready. He has the
Yeah.
sauna. He bought the best sauna that he could find like in his area. That's in his house. The ice in his house. Like he left no stone unturned.
Yeah,
Everything
true.
is there for
Pure
recovery, for
convenience.
performance,
Yeah.
and that's it. And he literally devoted his life for that.
Yeah.
like
no
I think,
question.
I think that's fine to say that when he's 5 times game champions. Like
Yeah.
if you look at him the first year he even got to the games, I doubt he had any of that. Okay, Sammy might have had his meals ready because they were together, but like, you know, he probably didn't have any of that other stuff. So I'd say if you guys are in that position 2-3 years into winning the games every
Yeah.
year, more than likely you'd have a very similar setup. So I think
Yeah.
although he's an incredible athlete, again, you're a product of your environment, and he has an amazing setup over there, and they're like, you know, endless resources and sponsorship money and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, yeah, I think sometimes it's a bit of a double standard comparing yourself to someone in the situation like him. But
Yeah, no, fair. But it is all the it is always the getting the 1% better. And if
100%.
anything to take from him, I would have liked him to gone a little more in depth in some of the points he was saying because they were key points. But yeah, he definitely has like his recovery down to a T. And final thing, touch on it, like for CrossFit training, we always say seek out the best aerobic guy or the weightlifting guy. And he said exactly that. He wanted to get his deadlift better. He found the best powerlifter that would give him a powerlifting program. So I thought that was pretty cool. He finds the very best coaches, and even he started to talk a little bit in depth about running and how a Ironman athlete talked to him about like his leg cycle and his cadence and
Chris
stuff.
Hinshaw, I think he must have been talking.
Do you think it was that?
Yeah,
who he was talking
because I
about?
think he
trying to
was
figure that one out.
ex-Ironman.
Okay.
Yeah.
cadence is key for running.
Cadence is key.
Cadence is key.
And breathing and his foot stroke, and that
Yeah.
was actually a bit of detail. So, that was
So
good.
like when he went into that, you were like, oh, he does know what he's talking about.
Yeah, so he is holding the rest back.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
he's got to
definitely
be,
is,
right? He's got to be.
100%.
He's keeping it all for his programming. So you sign up and then you're like, oh my God, here's all the
that's
knowledge.
true.
Yeah, but I was looking at his thing. It looks like his programming isn't going to be for like people wanting to go to CrossFit Games. It looks kind of
General fitness.
general fitnessy,
Sure,
or that's
sure.
what he kind of hinted at.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think he'll get more. He's probably looking at it as a business. That's
Yeah,
essentially what
yeah.
it is, and he's looking at
He'll
more sign-ups.
definitely take on
Yeah.
some athletes in the future.
Yeah, but
Like
like
I'd say-
taking on athletes takes up your time,
100%.
and you're doing all of these calls with them. You're breaking down their nutrition. While if you're selling to the masses, it's
Yeah.
going to be a little bit more of a basic program with tips from this famous athlete, and he's just going to get hundreds of sign-ups.
Yeah.
It's
oh,
more
it's a
worthwhile
no-brainer.
for him,
Yeah,
100%.
it's 100% no-brainer.
So,
Speaking of swimming, this is a question that popped into my mind. If you guys end up getting to, like, say, the semi-finals or the games, and there is a swim coming up, are you both going to drown? What is your plan to prep for swimming? I'm so curious.
You
we
need
had
to
some
do
Noble
the-
sponsored armbands.
yeah. Well, in the live event, the trick is you need to do the frog legs because it makes it harder for people to pass you because they have to do the full
Just
loop.
kicking people in the
Yeah.
teeth. Like, oh my
Swimming
God.
and CrossFit is full warfare.
Oh no!
I'm not joking,
Yeah.
like.
No, in one of the original, like the early Redeemed and Dominant docs, whatever, they talked about like people just crawling
Oh.
over each other, getting into the sea, and like
Yeah.
nearly drowning.
I've had my my goggles, my goggles pulled off my face in one event, and like proper, it's all going in your face, and I had to like have my head up the rest of the kind of just trying to get through the swim, but. Every single time I've gone for a swim event that has started with a run first, which was what they like to do, like a 200-meter sprint or 500-meter sprint, get you out of breath.
Yeah.
Then everyone getting into the water, it's like it's elbows, feet are going everywhere, people are pulling each other. I've had my ankle grabbed so people can get in front of you. But I suppose that's the contact event we're all looking for in the CrossFit, so I'm up for that.
I was my own threat in the swimming part.
Yes, you were.
I didn't need anyone
Yeah.
to pull my goggles off and
Your
beat
goggles
me
full
up.
of tears.
I could do that just fine on my own.
Well, I look forward to seeing you guys compete in a swimming event then, or even seeing you swim before then in the sea.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Last thing, there's I was in one of the first Irish competitions there was a swimming event. I don't even remember where it was. I remember Willie Georges actually competed in it and won it. But they were swimming anyway, and it was in between events. I was upstairs, the pool was downstairs, and there were these 3 guys that came in to go swimming, and they weren't allowed in. And then one of the friends was like, what's going on down there? And he was like, oh, there's just a load of really fit people trying not to drown. that was
so accurate. Yeah.
Because there was like, but I remember they were all like push-ups, and then you had to do lengths, and then there was like swinging the 25 kilo plate to overhead, so it was all tricep work, and then you were in the pool and you literally could not swim. So for any spectator, it just looked like the most ridiculous event going on downstairs.
Well, even the event,
great description.
Even the event from last year, which was the assault bike, the swim, and then the
GHDs.
sandbag. Oh, it was the GHDs,
And the slam balls.
Slam balls, which the standard for that was really interesting. There was so many techniques for that. But yeah, that like doing that and then trying to swim, like your breathing while swimming is already hard enough, and then being out of breath, like it's a really interesting kind of addition to a sport is to throw water into it when 90% of it's on land. Anyways, we are severely over time, but that was a good talk.
A clap for the
Can we get a clap? Yeah, here's a clap.
I don't know how long the clap's going on for.
Okay. I'm gonna fade out the clap, and now it's back to you.
Okay.
What should people do?
They should leave a review. If you know what's good for you, you'd leave a review, right?
For anyone wondering, you can leave a review on iTunes. I don't know if you can even leave one on Spotify.
Just leave a review on Sam's Instagram. Just make him happy.
Just drop a comment being like 5 stars.
Yeah.
And then we're happy. But yeah, thanks very much, guys.
Thanks, guys. Catch you next week.